If I can have joy in my business, I don't want it. Listen, I know that we all started businesses because we had a vision for something bigger than ourselves. We wanted to build something sustainable. And I know a lot of us actually joined from corporate careers, and we did not build our businesses to like simply have tough life. And we always say that business is tough, it's challenging, and that is absolutely true. But the reality of it is that business can be hard. Pain is absolutely unavoidable, but suffering is optional. Suffering is optional because what often happens sometimes in our lives and in our businesses is that we create something, we build something, we get inspired, we have an idea, we move with certainty, we have a big vision, we adopt a strategy, we start moving forward, and then all of a sudden uncertainty hits, right? But maybe we're not seeing the results as fast as we hope that we would see. Maybe we're not seeing the money, the income. And also, no matter where you're at in business, whether you ran business for 3, 4 years, whether you've been in business for 10 years, when you are navigating uncertainty, when you have to do something new in your business, you have to introduce new offer, you have to adapt new social media channel, you have to adapt new messaging. It feels like that you're a beginner again. And it can bring a lot of uncertainty. It can bring a lot of insecurities. So, but what actually moves business forward? This is not a perfect strategy. This is not a playbook. This is not another funnel. This is not another strategy on from the external. Even though strategies are important. Strategies are vehicles that can actually expedite your vision to the business, to something that you are building. These are vehicles, but the vehicle is not going to get you anywhere if there's no driver in the vehicle. You can sign up for multiple masterminds, for another messaging program, for another business coach. But if you as a driver, not in a driver's seat, if you are as a CEO, mentally is not in your seat, then the car is not driving. And for since 2023, I was operating in this environment where I thought that the best winning strategy will actually move me forward, right? And I paid for strategy because I thought like, okay, I need a strategy. I need another playbook. I need another something from the external. But what I found out as someone who worked a decade in mental health as a therapist, who worked a decade in big tech for Fortune 500 companies, when I realized that it is incredibly hard for us as entrepreneurs to navigate big pivots, big life transitions, and big changes in our environment. And for years, I was looking for an environment. I was looking for a container where I could have support both for my mental execution, because everything is mental. Everything starts with your mind system. And for the last couple of weeks, I was going live and I was really bringing this concept home that our brain is a system. We all have multiple personalities. And this is not multiple personality disorder. It's perfectly normal. This is not a pathology, but we have different parts of ourselves. We're a little different at work. We're a little different with our family. We're a little different with our our partners, right? And we are a little different in different situations, right? We all have those parts in ourselves, and this is why I had to redesign my container because, like, first of all, this pivot, this container that I've been building in for the last few months in 2025 before 2026, this is personal. This is personal because I understood that I wasn't supported in a way that I needed to be supported when I was navigating big pivots, big decisions in my business. I had strategic support. I work with a wonderful business coach. Actually, I work at the time I was I was working with two wonderful business coaches. And what I didn't get is actually a support where I can unblock myself, my internal CEO, the energy of self. And the energy of self is confidence. The energy of self is um, creativity, curiosity, calm. Like that was totally blocked. And what it resulted in very emotional pivot that was absolutely done incorrectly. And you can blame the lack of experience in business, right? Like, well, like I kind of just started my business. I kind of didn't know what I was doing, but this is not about the experience. I have 2 decades in corporate watching the businesses, the Fortune 5 companies, building systems and operations. Like this is not the lack of experience. This is the lack of self energy that can actually execute. So the way I redesign my program, the way I approach this problem specifically, because this is what happens. We can't execute with consistency under pressure. We start mental spiral. And then like this stress is not costing just our revenue, right? The revenue that we are not making, the revenue that we are not earning in our businesses, but it's also costing us peace, happiness, fulfillment, our mental health, our family, our relationship. These are all costs of when our true self energy is absolutely blocked. So the first move, like how I redesigned my program, instead of starting with like standard business consulting, like, okay, like who is your client? What is your vision? Where you want to go? We start like, first of all, we start with unblocking the energy of self. I'm using internal family system as a philosophy. And like, I want to emphasize something. And this can see, like I'm using a lot of philosophies, a lot of concepts from my past experience as a psychotherapist, as a clinical psychologist. But this is not a clinical psychotherapy. This is a container to perform and execute your business as your true self. This is not a clinical container. This is performance enhancement container where you can unblock yourself and get strategic advisory at the same time. But before you get the strategic advice, because before that it was strategic advisory, and then we were working on the mental piece, on the on the psychological part, on the manifestation, on the energetic alignment, all of that good stuff. Because I thought like, well, once you have the strategy, then you can then you can align your psychology. I was completely wrong because everything starts with your mind, in your mind system and in your heart. Until your mind and your heart are in congruence, until you are operating from the energy of self, nothing matters. Nothing matters. It will create more chaos. It will create more stress. It will create more panic. It will create more suffering. And you did not start your business to suffer more. You created your business to bring purpose, to bring, to make difference in the world. You're creating something bigger than yourself. So we're like the big piece of my container is actually unblocking your internal the energy of self, so we can stop the spiral, we can stop the reactive behavior, we can stop the execution collapse. Because a lot of people don't need another strategy, don't need another playbook, because you've been in business coaching containers. And how many containers you can actually learn like this, like the same regurgitated information over and over again. Because after you've been in a couple of business coaching containers like this, like the strategies are timeless, right? The good business strategies are timeless. But until you unblock yourself, nothing moves. So, how we unblock the energy of self? I introduce in 2026, I'm bringing hypnotherapy in my container, specifically designed for founders, for CEOs, for people who are operating in big moments in their business, in big pivots in their business, and navigating really big life decisions, because life doesn't stop. Life doesn't stop when when we are operating our business. So, like, this is the first part. And again, hypnotherapy without evidence-based component, with that evidence-based framework that can actually bring the results, is just the entertainment. And I'm connecting internal family system philosophy with hypnotherapy and ego states therapy. These are two evidence-based approaches that create amazing results. And the way that, like, the way they work in your mind, the way those two approaches work in your mind, internal family system, IFS, like, number one, what it does, it helps you to address different parts of you with compassion, with kindness, with calmness, with curiosity. And those parts that are reactive, that are wounded, that are controlling, you can actually negotiate with those parts of yourself so they can actually help you to build what you want to build, to bring your intention forward. And this is very first foundational piece. Now, ego states therapy is very similar, not exactly the same, but very similar to IFS, internal family system. So with ego states, the kind of the same philosophy that we operate in multiple personalities in our mind, but ego states is rather like neural connections that we made throughout our lives, right? When we learn something, let's say you learn a strategy, like, this is like, that can be your ego state. That is a neural connection that you created, whether you master that method or not, but you created that connection. The ego state can also be associated with somebody who you admire, right? Maybe it is your teacher, maybe it is your mentor, maybe it is a person who created the methodology. And it's not an external, it is internal, because you already implemented it in yourself. And you can actually create your subconscious internal board of advisors that work really wonderfully. And the IFS part is when you actually operate as your true self CEO. This is a big component that I'm adding very strategically, very consciously in my program. Then we do like strategic advisory because um, throughout my work with clients, so my clients and I majority of my clients are experts. They either like tech experts, they are consultants, they are podcast hosts. They're building really big different, really big things. And when it comes to strategic advisory, when it comes to strategic moves in your business, what I personally help clients to navigate is how to sell from stages and how to actually in this social media i- um, uh, season that we're in right now, how to operate, like how to land clients without social media. Not completely without social media, but without reliance on social media, because we know that social media is not consistent. The algorithms are changing. The behavior, the rules of social media are changing, but how to actually land clients based on local events, local meetups, local conferences that won't cost you an arm and a leg and can be like actually very, very affordable ways for you to bring more business, more money into your business. And your online presence, whether it is on LinkedIn, whether it is on Instagram or YouTube, that actually amplifies your local community. One of my clients actually gets constant invitations for conferences, for meetups, for presentations to speak from stages, sell from stages because of his presence. And he's not hugely online all the time. He posts periodically, but like the online world is not the only centerpiece. Another my client, wonderful consultant, uh, actually utilizes podcast as a third piece, LinkedIn and podcast as a third piece. And because her work is so specific, and her clients come to her through LinkedIn and her podcast. And again, if I were to reveal strategic approaches in 2026 and beyond with the age of AI, and by the way, like the AI infrastructure is something that I often address with my clients as well when we're doing strategic advisory piece. Because we often, again, like back to what I said before, we put AI in a driver's seat, and then we ask why our businesses are collapsing, why our messaging is not performing, because ourselves we are not operating from the energy of self. That's why our messaging is collapsing. That's why we're not performing. That's why we don't see the movement. And with AI, it's rather emphasizing where you can save time, where you can save money, where you can actually strategically use it. So, and that is strategic piece. Another strategic piece in 2026 and where social media is going to go based on my observation, based on other experts' opinions, what other people are saying, and multiple business owners that I absolutely admire and respect, such as Gary Vee, Jerusha Hawk, Kelly Roach, and other business owners who've been in business and in social media longer than I have, they all say that live stream, what I'm doing right now, this is the future. It may not feel like that. It may not feel like that in the moment, when you do live stream, but live stream is actually one of the most authentic social media channels that we can utilize right now in the age of AI, when everything is automated, when everything is AI generated, when everything is unauthentic, when people watch the video and they don't know anymore if it is AI or not. This is not AI. This is live stream. Like, I can't fake it, and this is why when I go live, I don't do pre-recorded webinars. I don't do pre-recorded anything like that. Like, I mean, I could schedule my entire video series with AI and restream and play it like that. But what is actually landing in is live streams, and this is something that I've been utilizing with my clients as well. But again, going back to the essential what I was talking before, that the energy of true self has to be in the driver's seat. Because if we are navigating big pivots, big life decisions, we have to navigate it from the energy of self. Because I know it from my personal experience that it is like that it is very tough. That is when our execution absolutely collapses, when our energy of self is not present. Now, this program is 6 months program. Working with me one-on-one, I only work with 4 people at a time, and this is um, highly personalized approach, highly personalized program. It will be designed based on your needs. It will be designed based on your on your strength or your weaknesses, what you want to improve. And my promise for you for this program, that you will get personalized support. Like, first of all, unburden your mental status so you can navigate with ease, flow, and grace when you're navigating big pivots, when you're navigating big decisions. Also, as we are approaching strategic decisions, this is where our spirals activate. We try new strategies, and we start spiraling. This is why it is 6 months. This is where you get personalized support, where you can be supported when you are navigating like really tough transitions. This is 6 months program. We meet every week, once a week, for one-on-one sessions, and every session can be a little different. At the beginning, we're really truly aiming to unblock the energy of self, so you can operate from the place of flow, from the place of happiness, from the place of calmness, confidence, curiosity, from that pure energy of self that is already in you. And then we move forward with a strategic advisory that makes sense specifically for your business. There's no one size that fits all. So the investment for the program is 4,500. You can either utilize Klarna. I have Klarna like as a support, or you can pay in full, either or. And this is from what I'm seeing in the market. This is this is what and this is an investment that you don't normally see out there. Normally, when you go to like business program or mindset program, like, number one, a lot of a lot of coaches, a lot of hypnotherapists, since we go into hypnotherapy, they don't have formal education in human psychology. And your business is psychological. And as someone who spent a decade in mental health profession, who has formal education, formal training, I'm a registered hypnotherapist in the state of Washington. I understand how human mind works. And this is my, on top of that, this is my unique ability. This is something that I'm incredibly good at. Number two, like not a lot of programs actually designed to support people when they're navigating business big decisions. Is either they advise you to go to therapy, and not a lot of therapists actually can like are specializing in like supporting entrepreneurs. There are one absolute, and again, my program is not a substitute for therapy. If you need a therapy, go to therapy. But this is like my program is a combination of both. Is when you unblocking your true energy of self. This is not therapy, but it can be absolutely be therapeutic. And I'm using hypnotherapy to unblock your true self, and then we move with advisory. So the way you can work with me, you can send me a DM with the word certainty. This is the name of my program. Or you can also click the link to apply for certainty. There's an application. There are a few questions that you need to answer, and if there is an alignment, um, uh, I, 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 regardless if there is an alignment or not, I will let you know. I will respond to your inquiry, and I will inform you if it is a good fit or not. Ask me all the questions that you have. I would like to hear from you specifically. Again, this is 6 months. Klarna option is available, like on all of my checkout pages. Klarna option is available, and it's 4,500 for 6 months. Personalized support working with me, and I. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, and if you're watching it on the replay, please share with me. Let me know either in the comments or in the DMs. My DMs are open. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we are going to talk about, actually the problem with adding like more strategy into your business. It's not that sort of the strategy is bad, but like how strategy, like any new strategy actually at first it slows down your business before it speeds up, and how you can actually decide whether or not in this season you need to add another strategy, and if you do, how to do it correctly. All right, I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you later. Bye, y'all.